Hey guys, this is Karan Binani from Mobius Group and this is the full review of the LG G2. Now before I go further, let me just quickly take you through the specifications of the device. It's running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean and would be upgradable to 4.3 as well. Running off a 2.26 GHz quad-core processor with 2 GB of RAM built in, no micro SD card, 32 GB built-in memory, Full HD 5.2-inch display. In terms of build quality, the LG G2 is not very different from the other high-end Samsung smartphones that come with a polycarbonate plastic material. So it kind of feels the same glossy, plasticky material. And it's really just got these nice rounded edges all around. So, whether it's the left edges or top edges, all of them are nicely rounded and really ergonomic to hold. The G2 is 143 grams, which is 13 grams heavier than the Galaxy S4. Also, I really have a tough time wrapping my palm around the entire device, so single-handed operation is kind of difficult, though it's not impossible. Now, just with a quick comparison with Galaxy S4, the S4 is 7.9 millimeters, almost 1 millimeter thinner than the LG G2. Now, here's the highlight. The G2 breaks from the traditional and puts the phone's power and lock key at the back of the phone along with the volume buttons. Now, it has certainly taken me time to get used to it, and so would you. It's not always easy finding your way to the power and lock key, and that's where the knock-on feature comes handy, and we'll talk about it just a little later. Now, the volume buttons placed at the back basically help you shift volumes to higher or lower levels, especially when you're on a call. But again, it's really not that easy to find these buttons if you're not used to it already. Now, on the G2, there are no physical home, return, or menu keys. They're all on the display at the bottom. So, as we've seen in the Galaxy S4, these buttons are actually outside the display, but in G2, they're already built in. At the top, you've got an IR LED blaster, so you can pretty much use this device as a remote. And there's a small microphone built right on top. On the left, you've got a nano SIM card slot. At the bottom, you've got two speakers, one 3.5mm headphone jack, and a USB 2.0 data syncing and charging port. The speaker's just about fine, nothing earth-shattering. The LG G2 has a Full HD 5.2 inches display, so that's a resolution of 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. Now these displays are incredible in terms of lifelike colors, sharp and bright, offer great visibility in sunlight, and have wide viewing angles. So here's an example. As you can see, the colors are very nice, natural, and very subtle. They're not extremely saturated that we've seen in the Galaxy S4 other Samsung AMOLED displays. The colors are really nice and they don't really hurt your eye. And even when you tilt the device, you can see that the text readability and the colors, they don't wash out. So, even at various angles, for example, when you're watching a movie, you can pretty much be assured that you'll get a good view. Now guys, the G2 is running Android 4.2.2 and well, it will be upgradable to Android 4.3 as well. What I always do is create folders and you can color them in the G2's user interface. So, you have different color coded folders and kind of really neatly organizes your entire user interface. Now, there are a couple of options that you can use to customize your experience on the LG G2. For example, adding widgets, adding home screens. So, for example, I just add a home screen and now I can quickly add another widget. And these widgets are basically information-bearing tiles that are placed on your home screen depending on which app they belong to. So, without actually entering the application, you can pretty much view information on your home screen. Now, at the top, you've got a notification panel and you've got various radio controls that can be toggled over here. So, for example, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, NFC, all of these can be quickly turned on or off right from this place. You don't even have to enter into settings. Now, if you do want to go into settings, there are actually tons of options available here. And you can change all of these to ensure that, you don't waste a lot of battery or you've actually set the right things to conserve more battery. Now, for example, setting vibrations, the strength of vibration, the volume of your ringtone, the brightness levels, all of this do make an impact. Now, the front touch buttons basically change the layout of your navigational nav bar at the bottom. So you've got return, home, and menu. You can keep changing the orientation of that. And then you have a couple of options in general, wherein you can also see battery information, storage information, and mind you, the G2 comes with 32 GB of inbuilt memory and it's running Android 4.2.2. The G2 does offer a certain level of customization. For example, there are plenty of lock screen options that are really attractive and intriguing. This is the crystal effect, there's a particle effect, there's a dewdrop effect. So all of these can be changed, tweaked, and you can definitely install third-party launchers to even add more animations and transitions to your home screens. Now there's a new thing called Quick Memo. Well, it's not really so new. It has been there in the other LG devices. And what it really is just a quick note-taking app from anywhere on any screen and then sharing it or saving it for your reference. Something new that they've added is called Slide Aside. Take 3 fingers, slide to the left, and it kind of adds itself to a group of 3 applications that always reside and can be called directly by just a swipe to the right with 3 fingers, and then you can choose them, close them, open them, whatever. With the G2, LG has also introduced Q-Slide, and there are a bunch of Q-Slide applications that can be run on top of your home screens, or actually anywhere on any screen. You can also toggle the transparencies, and they pretty much run like regular apps. It's just that they are windows overlaid on top of each other. The G2 sports a 13 megapixel lens along with optical image stabilization and LED flash. To get a good understanding of how good the camera quality is, there is a link in the description below, and you would see a bunch of camera samples and video recording samples as well. So there are a bunch of modes available, and again, more or less these are the same modes that we've seen in most smartphones, so nothing really new that I can discuss. A bunch of settings that you can change, and I really like the way you can change settings here. You don't really have to scroll a lot. All of them are right there in one place. So there is touch to focus as well, and the camera snaps pretty quickly. You just press the key and it kind of takes a picture instantly. Now in video mode, so it can record full HD videos, but there is no touch to focus available, which is surprising and quite disappointing actually. The great part is that with the Snapdragon processor, you can actually record full HD videos at 60 frames per second, and that's twice as smooth as any other smartphone out there that can take full HD videos, and thanks to the Snapdragon processor, that's what makes it possible. With audio zoom, you can pretty much zoom in to whatever you're recording in terms of video and make sure that your microphones only pick up the audio from where you've zoomed in. You can definitely pinch to zoom, and then you can just tap to focus and you can take pictures for some really awesome shots. The LG G2 is definitely one of the best Android smartphones right now out there, and especially for the year 2013. A great processor, 2GB of RAM, 32GB inbuilt memory, 13 megapixel camera, beautiful large full HD 5.2-inch display, lightweight and extremely thin. The LG G2 is just a great device to have in your pocket. However, one problem that I know of with LG is that they do not provide timely and quick upgrades of Android versions, and that might be a problem for many. So, well guys, really, it's just a matter of preference. If you like the UI, if you love the design of the phone, it is definitely a great buy for all of you. So thank you for watching guys, do leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.